I'm yeah, 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 yeah. What up? It's drama. Yeah. Yeah, I'm power tripping with money popping my collar on that hood shit. Fresh out of jail, straight to the dollars. Got a good connect, he never ace. I want a product, hit the block and watch the money rise. Bread in the oven, pockets full of stuffing. Never catch me clubbing, but I ain't show the money, then the hoes come running. Wake up, get the paper like the free press coming. But enough about that. Hold up, let me spit a rap for these assholes. Back with a crack flow, cops in the front, and I'm dipping through the back door. Frostbite on my toes, damn, almost lost those. Running through the snow in my socks, trying to dodge fog. My jail days was the worst days. Sipping watered down juice when you thirsty. Real talk, the 3.5 for them. That's 1,276 mornings when my baby mama was out home and telling me stories. They like who your baby daddy is. Better call Maury. Used to roll up at your mama's with a bag full of Tonys and a pocket full of money. Not the kind that she would loan me now. Sickest kid rapping still. Make someone call the doctor cause the rap is ill. Here, take another pill. Fake rappers acting still. I've been on my A game. Shit never lacked the skill. Real top. Yeah, it's that gang like shit. Yeah, homeboy, yo. I'm from the same side, where they might walk up, where they might drive by. Yeah, I'm staying high, cause today I might die. My homie doing robberies, trying to feed his kids. Got shot and I ain't don't do shit. I live in a cold moment, fuck yesterday, tomorrow bringing some pain. Yeah, my other homie, a parole violator. When I see his PO with his eyes dilated, they locked him up quicker than the secret said. See you later, alligator. Crowd surfing on the pack of haters. Tomorrow never comes, tonight is all that matters. I'm staying faded, cause I don't like who I am when I'm sober. Staring in the mirror like, behold, the demon that holds ya.
So long to get these two frickin' songs. There's a third song I can't figure out. This damn music player. I need a different, some sort of aftermarket music player on this. I'll figure that out. Reach out and touch someone with a 40 pack.
Driving my motivation, no tolerance, running short of patience. Skip gold, do not collect money. That's the shit that got me dreaming robberies. When pops left, it was the flock that fathered me. Got a problem, load the weapon, that's how you solve it, that's what it taught to me. Every side on your face starting to bother me. Put me in the direction where the bottom be. Is it just how I was born to be? Some come to this world with diamonds and pearls, some come with poverty. With no one to teach us right and wrong, how could you say that we wrong? This is all we know, so gotta be right. Or maybe it's left, but it's all we got left. Not thug until my last breath. Truly, peace of love to the ones that knew me. You fuck the rest, I mean it. And she know, when I walk up this door, it might be for the last time. They say the stars burn the brightest right before they die. That's why I tell her I love her just in case today's my day to shine. Father, forgive me for I sin, and I'm sure I probably sin again. Tell me whose blood is this on my hands, cause I can't remember. And when my night go, I let me in the room. My thugs, pump drugs, dump slugs, great.
I know what you think. I know what you think. You leaves it there all the fucking time. You leaves it there all the fucking time.
All my thugs, pump drugs, dump slugs.
No, I know what you're thinking. He carries it with him everywhere. But he always puts it there to look. I don't know anymore. Because they're all the fucking exact same, man. And I eat with all of them, so there's all sorts of rotten meat on that.
That's how you rock that shit. Now here comes the magic trick. Abracadabra, bitch. The soul disappears quick as your baby mom's welfare check. This the life, yeah, fuck you pay me. I brought the bitch with me just to show you I ain't playing.
Checks is up. The trap house man, but we never run out.
Know these cops that wanna kill me or confine me. But first you gotta find me, so come find me. You bitch ass, punk ass cops, y'all can kiss on my cock. This is something that you'll never
Military
stop.
police killer.
Even after my heart stops.
Crackdale, West End, Toronto spells wet.
Yeah, same way I was taught. Yeah, fuck the cops, fuck the cops. All my thugs, pump drugs, dump slugs, great thugs. Nah, you ain't one of us. If you want it, better be ready to kill for it. If you want it, better be ready to kill for it. All my thugs, pump drugs, dump slugs, great thugs. Nah, you ain't one of us. If you want it, better be ready to die for it. You want it, bet you be ready to die for it.
Not sure why I care. Exposing this more isn't gonna work to fucking accomplish anything. That's the killer evil left eye. This is the one that reads the writing on circuit boards. Oh, here's a problem.
Yeah. What up? Yeah. I'm parachuting with money popped in my collar on that hood shit. Fresh out of jail, straight to the dollar, got a good connection, never ace.
Well, I thought we would have like one story after the sports, but I guess we don't. I want no charcoal in my damn pizza, bro. You cook the pizza with charcoal. You don't fucking... You're Italian. They tasted it. I can just imagine, bro. Where the fuck in Sicily are they mixing charcoal with the dough?
Canada is rolling out new measures to protect the critically endangered North Atlantic right whale. However, federal officials insisted today the rules won't lead to more fishing closures in the Gulf of St. Lawrence or the Bay of Fundy.
The fucking thing is
Fisheries
extinct.
Minister Bernadette Jordan says one key measure will see fisheries closures imposed only when the whales show up in some areas.
Now what we're doing is actually tracking where the whales are, and then we will close it in almost like a grid around the whale as it moves. So that we're not.
I don't want to hear no complaints from fishermen or tourism people because you ain't done shit so far to do anything. What do you do now? Wait for the government to do something. Fuck you. You don't deserve that info.
To know where things are going to be.
Meantime, Transport Canada says vessels longer than 13 meters will be required to comply with the new rules to reduce ship strikes. These include new speed limits for vast areas of northeastern New Brunswick and southeast of Anticosti Island. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and your extended forecast.
Not Antigonish. Antigonish.
Being an entrepreneur means always having ideas to grow my business. And when I turned to BDC to bring my ideas to life, they came up with solutions I hadn't even thought of. And BDC being the only bank exclusively devoted to...
You are fucking full of shit. So in order to make those tracks play, I had to add them to their own playlist, and I couldn't find the third one.
Yeah. Gang like records, gang like records.
Well, I almost fucked that up, didn't I?
Yeah. Hunger driving my motivation, no tolerance. Get your ass up out the car, nigga. Get the fuck out. Hurt yourself, nigga. Hurt yourself. Fuck you up on the streets. You need a GDSL crack for the working class sleeps. Cause my life on the beat. No matter what, I'ma eat. If I'm a burn for a plate, might as well make it a feast. I go hard till I'm in that box. A little baking soda mixed with cocaine. Now we cooking rocks. Can't see too many jocks. I know that you barely speak. Let them watch. Satan's calling and we all on the clock. I have this dream. Every night it's the same.
I'm on the beach in front of the ocean.
Tell me what this mean. You can call it greed.
I call it get mine by any means.
Yeah, the KID, aka the Sandman, putting to sleep like rockin' bye-bye, baby. With a
Priest there, I didn't see.
I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I don't know, maybe. Yeah, the boy, done lost his way. Walking like you lost the baby, where they say, yeah, the boy, done lost his way. Nothing good, yeah, I'm
With all stress, just with all the here, despite what you did. Make them on the year after year, not in this for the days of old. Start fights, knock up your fucking neck.
I was raised up west side, money motivated, my team standing corners, holidays, we on the grind. I do this all the time, every day, you know I gotta ride. Money be a girl, say goodbye, cause now the bitch is mine. It's just another day, another crime. We live in the devil's way like renegade. Watch your Tuesday raises on the end of it. Get on your knees and pray like you about to meet the Lord today. It's slowly starting to fade, lost, living into an unconscious state. You don't want that faith, living life in the hood and smoke the soldiers from your folder.
I'm a real Canadian. I don't play fair. I'm full flavor. I'm taking out you Canadian lights and smoking you like bogus. Rob your whole family tree. Oh, made a path, man. Killing ghosts.
Nothing good here, all the time away. Yeah, boy, the lost his way. Walking with your mind, so what we're saying. Yeah, boy, the lost his way. Nothing good here, all
Don't
the
test
time
in the
away.
forehead, so no need for a vest. Leave no trace. It's got my block number on the pack, eh? And that's a unique number. The only place you can find that number is on 6 other streets named Lansdowne. I didn't know that, but apparently there's a shitload of other 10, 11 Lansdownes.
Going hard to my number call, trust me dog. You ain't prepared to do what I'm prepared to do. Work the car, the artillery I got, cause you have to the chainsaw. Ready to tat, 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 bags down. Stop, listen, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Murder in the first degree, homicide in my crib, harassment. She just jammed the needle in her arm, now she can't speak. It's a cold world that we live in, take it from me. Yeah, in the end, everything I see and have seen is but a dream within a dream. Long days, cold nights, serving fiends. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This that new shit, that gang like revolution. You don't wanna fuck with this, I got homie on standby, ready to let it rip. I suggest you close your lips, stop bumping your guns before you hurt someone you love. No remorse for my gun, no regrets for these clips. Cross me and I said you bout shit. Got an M16, copied up the black market shit. Big guns, big clips, you don't want any part of this. I'm not leaving retarded shit. We get sick, I give a fuck who started it. Try me, see how far you get. 4 coons in this rolling whip. Roll through, fuck your whole day up. Fuck your clown, should've paid up. Now the great thing, putting in work. Covering your costs in the dirt. As far as
Got what he deserved. The Grave Digger. That's my name. That's my legal birth name.
Well, Scott, market's still firmly in the red, but well off the lows for the day. Wall Street at one point was in correction territory. That's where we see a 10% drop from the recent peak, and those peaks, remember, were just last week. So a lot of up and down yet again. The Dow right now is down by 331. At one point today, it dropped by 960 points.
These same idiots will tell you, oh, the Aurora stock is up 2.5% today, but it's down like 60% on the last year. But, oh, it's up a whole bunch today. Fucking idiots. Don't listen to them.
As soon as next month. Dennis Gartman is the now retired editor and publisher of the Gartman Letter and a longtime market watcher.
It's not a question of if it will occur, it's a matter of when it will occur. Will it occur at the next FOMC meeting? Will they actually hold a telephone conference and do something between meetings? But I think there's at least one, if not two, Fed cuts coming at us this year. The cutting of interest rates will be psychological. What the Fed really has to do is become or continue to be as monetarily expansionary as it has been, adding to its holdings of Treasury securities and increasing the adjusted monetary base.
Now, the TSX also in the red today. It's down by 281, 16,760. Shares in TD Bank flirting with a one-year low. Right now off by 2.8%, 71.01, going as low as 69.34. The bank raised its dividend, but fell short of expectations as it reported a first quarter profit of $3 billion. National Bank reported
this is a good time to buy
financial
then.
results for its first quarter. It says net income was up 11%. That stock is down 3% to $70.90 a share. Price for gold right now essentially flat, $16.42. Oil is still close to.
How is $16.42 flat, you fucking idiot?
$57 now, $47.16 a barrel, a drop of 3.2%.
It hasn't gone up or down in the last 30
close
seconds,
to
right?
a 9-month low, down by 15/100ths right now, 74.85 cents US. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
My favorite part of winter is the blinding snow and the treacherous road conditions. It's so much fun. Invigorating even. It feels so alive.
Said no one ever. Be weather ready with the Toyota RAV4 with 10 different models to choose from.
Next to the beach, next to the beach, next to the beach.
Sale leave for as low as $103 weekly and 5.49% APR for 48 months with $0 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local
There ain't no peace, all I see is violence in the streets. Junkies in the alleyway, homie broke us by any means. Random robberies just to feed. Close your eyes, imagine what it's like to be me. It's just the nature of the beast, no warning. We just sink our teeth, we rip the competition apart. Once the gun goes off, it can start. He played until he passed on. A grown man cried like a hoe. What a sad song. All my soldiers put your flags on. We gon' bang to this song. I keep the strap like an ace in the hat. Yeah, I'd rather get caught with it than with all where I'm at. Got no time for rats. Tell broken they can kiss her ass. We don't talk to police, got no respect for the bad. That's why I keep the gun in mass right next to the staff. You can't play me. It's the nature of the beast. The nature of the beast. It's the nature of the beast. Say you can't play me. It's the nature of the beast. The nature of the beast. Nature of the beast. Say you can't play me. It's the nature of the beast. The nature of the beast. The nature of the beast. Say you can't play me. It's the nature of the beast. The nature of the beast. Yeah, the nature of the beast.
I'm jumping on deck with my hand on my tech. Disrespect, but Marvin, get your face in your lap. Claiming you hardcore, but doing bass in the trap. I'm loading my gun up, where the fuck boys at? It's murder, homie. Don't talk shit, get your burner, homie. Chrome on me, and I'm down for the first degree. First 40 gig, and my cousin on tape. Cutting the cop up with a 30 razor blade. These days are crazy, but we stay getting paid. Fuck with the boss, so when your homework is great. I'm hanging with real killers and slanging with drug dealers. My city's a melting pot, controlled by the devil's plot. Don't care if you ready or not, leave you down on the block. You step ahead of the cop, G's up, homes down, no joking around. Catch you smoking a pound in your hood, holding it down. Killer King, holding the crown. You can't play me. It's the nature of the beast. The nature of the beast.
See it all. Damn it.
You can't play me. It's the nature of the beast. The nature of the beast. Nature of the beast. Say you can't play me. It's the nature of the beast. The nature of the beast. The nature of the beast.
It's real. Trust me, I'm smoking it in front of you.
The nature of the beast. The nature of the beast. Yeah, the nature of the beast. Gangster, all you do is talk. You some fat fuck wanksters. Stuck up in the bench, you get checked up. Wanksters, penetrate the score with my bank stuck. Banks cut, stop to pick the walls with your stain blind. Keep your fucking flags and your chains up. Danger, creeping in the average, you ain't far. Tough sweats, they get right from the gates. Raised up, aim up at your point, then we split slots. Raised up, in the gut, the legs will be laced up. Slam drums, you know what the way, homie, can't go. Banker, parts of the door, for a bester. Text one, they same day, then I can't cut straight thumb. Insane quirks with the brains, nuts, place. Pop up and fucking with the Mary J. Slut. Make books, all about the broad, but we back up. March, cause we gangsters, ballin', you bankrupt. You can't play me, Say you can't play me, Say you can't play me,
Oh, we're missing the traffic.
has blown from the storm via full stretch back from the Allen and the Express. Collector lanes are moving fine through that stretch. And then once you're past all that, the eastbound 401, it's wide open heading into the Durham region. Looking off the highways, you're going to find blowing snow in many areas, especially in Caledon. Traffic spotters tell me Mississauga Road, north of Mayfield, near zero visibility there, so use extra caution. Find half-price specials throughout the show.
70-kilometer-an-hour winds are not fucking kidding,
like
eh?
$600
How
off
many
the
miles
Sealy
is that?
Posturepedic Queen mattress. Now only $399, more than half off. Visit leons.ca. And now with the forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
About 50-55 mile an hour winds.
Heads up for snow squalls that'll set up, could deliver a quick burst of snow for Toronto and the GTA. Guaranteed high -3, it'll feel like -12. And for tonight, more flurries, a low -6, but it'll feel like -16 overnight.
Because their mathematical calculation doesn't account for 70 kilometers, 50 miles, whatever the fuck it is. I'll put it up on my phone.
But
it doesn't account for that.
Well, -4, feeling like -13. 680 News.
Yeah, -13 if the wind's not really blowing 70. If it's blowing 70, you're fucked.
Or just go back to sleep. Many of us remember very clearly the morning of January 12th when phones and TVs buzzed with a terrifying message from the Pickering Nuclear Generating Station.
This morning, the province released an official report on the false alarm. 680's Moment Crunch.
Did you release it by email
with the details of the investigation?
Spam 30 million people?
7:23 in the morning on January 12th when that message was sent out telling people of an issue at the Pickering nuclear plant. That sent out widespread panic. But the issue is, A, how did that message get sent out? And B, why did it take until 9/11, more than an hour and a half later, for a retraction to be sent out to say that everything was okay and that there were no issues? We put that to Solicitor General Sylvia Jones.
This was sent in error. We have now, as a result of that, an improved system. I'm not happy about it.
They used to come on TV instantly to tell you this shit. Now, oh, this is improved. This is improved.
Give assurances to the people of Ontario that the system has been improved, and ultimately, we don't want it to happen again.
So Jones said they've
this system's been improved. Ultimately, we don't want it to happen. Fuck you. You don't want it to happen.
So when you send out test alerts, it's different than sending out the real thing. She says those checks have been put in place so that A, this doesn't happen again, and B, if it does happen again, people will know it's just a test and not the real thing. Reporting live at Queen's Park.
So what happens if somebody goes to put out the real message and it says this is a test message?
Happening now at Toronto Police Headquarters. Police are revealing more details about a series of overdoses that happened near Yonge Dundas yesterday. Overdoses that we now know are linked to fentanyl thanks to testing. 680's Mark Douglas is there. He joins us with the latest.
The staff at one of Toronto's safe injection sites found themselves in the center of an overdose crisis, but they stepped up and saved multiple lives. Public Health says there were 16 medical responses between about 4 and 11 p.m. yesterday. 11 patients needed at least one dose of naloxone. 14 people rushed to hospital by ambulance. Toronto police say fentanyl was the source of these problems. We're getting more details about that right now from police. City Councillor Joe Cressy says this incident shows just how vital the safe injection sites are to the city of Toronto.
We have obtained a sample of the drugs that were being used, and they're being tested right now at St. Michael's Hospital.
Remember, cocaine's not illegal in Canada, neither is heroin. Why the fuck are they holding back on the prescription?
People who use drugs know to look out for.
Stay tuned for
more
you're
not doing fuck all about that, because I didn't hear about it till just now, you
live
fucking
from
dick.
City Hall. I'm Mark Douglas. Ontario's latest case of coronavirus is a first. The person who contracted it did not get
They expect me to go do something about it when they won't tell me it's happening.
Joins us live with the
that.
latest.
That's not my problem.
This sixth confirmed case is a man in his 60s. He's the husband of the province's fifth case. His wife had recently been to Iran where she became infected. Health officials say it's the first case in the province of human-to-human transmission. Iran now experiencing one of the worst outbreaks outside of China. Health Minister
It's all human-to-human transmission, eh?
Response during question period.
They are doing incredible work to do everything that we can to contain this virus, and they are working
First
in
case.
circumstances
How the
that
fuck do you think all these other people got
are
it?
difficult, yet they are responding to it. In every hospital that I've been to and into my discussions with public health officials.
Ontario health officials say the risk of contracting coronavirus in Canada remains low. They will be updating the situation at 3 this afternoon. Reporting live, Irene Frecklett, 680 News. This is 680 News. Road crews continue to clear the slush and snow from GTA roadways, while north of the city, the tricky drive continues with snow squall warnings in effect. 680's Stuart McGinn joins us live with more on the cleanup and today's weather. Stuart.
Yeah, and Sarah, things still have the chance to get quite ugly.
Especially for late tonight, early Friday morning. It looks really good 1 minute, and then you drive in and out of these whiteout conditions.
Our meteorologist Jill Taylor tracking the back end of this storm, which leaves the GTA and areas further north in for possible blowing snow and snow squalls, with advisories and watches in place up in Orangeville and Dufferin County. But we know we've gotten already, it appears, 15 centimeters of snow, with the biggest total of 22 centimeters. As this cleanup continues, York Police tweeting out a call they received from someone stuck behind crews this morning.
I understand the snowplowers are trying to do their job, but they're driving at 20 kilometers an hour down the highway. And if I'm late again, I'm going to be penalized at work.
Police simply adding to that tweet, pack your patience. Reporting live, Stuart McGinn, 680 News.
As the federal government hopes for a
breakthrough when federal and provincial ministers meet in BC with the Wet'suwet'en hereditary chiefs, a Conservative MP is questioning if the ongoing blockades constitute acts of terrorism.
The moment came during a committee meeting
Indigenous
on Parliament
gangs.
Hill, where Public Safety Minister Bill Blair appeared as a witness about budget.
We're already renowned for fucking killing terrorists. We're known for it. Look it up.
If the current illegal blockades and what happening across Canada are being deemed as a terrorist activity.
No, they're not. Blair says that call is for police, not politicians, and so far law enforcement have not indicated they're investigating these matters as such. RCMP Commissioner Brenda Lunky did not stop for reporters following the committee. The question comes a day after protesters in Tyendinaga.
I don't want to blow your shit up, I want to steal it, stupid. If I kill people, who am I going to sell drugs to? You're not fucking using your head, you
can lead to some sort of resolution to de-escalate these tensions. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Coming up in 30 seconds, we'll check city streets and the price of gas.
680 News Time, 1:39. All banks are
we have AK-47s to go to protest.
Right.
And then we're selling cigarettes to get AK-47s. And you just said we already have. And we're doing this to protest what you're doing. Why wouldn't we just go out there with our AK-47s?
Like no fees.
Why wouldn't we just? That doesn't make sense. You have to spend money to create this product. But somehow we need. You're not making any fucking sense when you talk about it, you dumb motherfuckers.
Duca Credit Union. Do more. Be more. Achieve more.
On city streets, northbound Markham Road is jammed from the 401 to Shepherd due to a crash. And extend lane restrictions northbound Airport Road north of Hockley because of a jackknife tractor trailer. Now the 680 News gas price update. Enpro predicts the price will drop 3 cents at midnight to $1.07.9 a liter.
680 News Time, 1:40.
Find a car today, a much better way. Visit Ontario.
I'm giving them about 3 minutes to do my French.
Why scour the city looking for a used or new car when you can easily visit OntarioCars.ca and find a large selection to choose from? Couldn't be simpler. No clutter, just cars. There's all-in pricing from our trusted sellers too, and all purchases are protected by a compensation fund. Find your gem at OntarioCars.ca.
Make time for dinner and dessert. Shop your favorite Loblaws groceries online, at home, or from your phone, and your order will be delivered to your door in as little as 1 hour. That's right, 1 hour. But that's not all. You can get $25 off your order when you try online grocery delivery. What better way to enjoy the food you love? See for yourself and place your first order at loblaws.ca/delivery. But hurry, offer only available until March 7th.
How much is that going to cost?
I want
some free bread. And weather together on the ones. Here's Gary Prunskis. This report is brought to you by CIBC. Westbound on the 401, we have a new problem approaching Brimley in the collectors. The center lane is blocked with a crash, so westbound 401 all jammed up now from McCowan in the collectors over towards Brimley. A good drive through the express lanes. And then after all this, westbound 401, it's a little bit busy through Kipling. That's because of an earlier problem. Then heading into Mississauga, it's getting busy from here, Ontario in the collectors to west of Mavis. Northbound on the 400, approaching Highway 9, the 2 left lanes remain
closed. This is all for collision cleanup, so a heavy backup from Aurora Road. If you're heading northbound on the Don Valley Parkway, that's busy with volume approaching Eglinton to north of Lawrence. Eastbound on the 401, east of the Allen and the Express, the right lane is blocked because of a stalled vehicle. It's backed up from the Allen in the Express lanes. Use the collectors through here. Eastbound on the 407, we have a new problem eastbound 407 on the ramp to the northbound 400. The two left lanes of that ramp are now closed, all for vehicle fire cleanup, so use extra caution there. Southbound on the 410, things are getting back to normal. We had an earlier problem approaching Courtney Park. It was there for a while, but looks like those delays have now eased off on the southbound 410, so some good news there. Off the highways, there's a crash northbound on Markham Road at Shepherd, so traffic is heavy from the 401. Looking for a great rate? Get 2.75% interest for a limited time with the CIBC RRSP Daily Interest Savings Account. Conditions apply. And now with the forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
Wind gusts could exceed 80 kilometers per hour today, blowing snow, and heads up for snow squalls. Some of these squalls could extend to Toronto and the GTA, bringing a quick burst of a couple of centimeters of snow. Guaranteed high -3. It'll feel like -12. Tonight, more flurries, a low -6. A wind chill near -16. Tomorrow, windy with flurries, could collect another 2 centimeters, the high -4. For today, the guaranteed high -3.
Right now in downtown Toronto, blowing snow, a mix of sun and cloud, -4, feeling like -13. 680 News Time, 143.
Now the Dynamic Funds Market Minute, live from the Business Center. Here's Chris McCusker.
Sarah, the loss is mounting again on Wall Street. The Dow at one point today was down 960 points, and it's off by 664 right now, so about 300 points from its low for the day. The S&P is down 44, the NASDAQ down 228, and the TSX is off by about 2%, or 338 points, 16,703. I'll just remind you that all North American markets hit all-time highs just last week. Gold is down in dollars, $16.42. Oil is off by $2, $46.84 a barrel.
Tell you the
and the Canadian
obvious.
dollar down
That means every fucking week it's been
US.
record
At
highs
the
for the
Business
last few
Center,
months.
I'm Chris McCusker.
Research shows that households with a financial advisor save at nearly twice the rate versus those who don't. To learn more, visit dynamic.ca/advice.
Let's do some F-150 math. 6, the number of engines you can choose from. 3,270. That's how many pounds of payload F-150 can carry. 13,200. That's how many pounds of anything it can tow.
1.5 tons,
0. That's the purchase finance rate you get for 60 months on select new 2020 F-150 models. It all adds up to F-150. Get the truck that's built for you. Visit your local Ford store or Ford.ca.
It's a 150, but it'll take a ton and a half.
Here to talk
No,
about
you're
my
lying
new
about
store,
something.
McEwen
That
Fine
doesn't
Foods
add
at Young and Bloor. The newest McEwen location offers a full shopping experience with a wide selection of restaurant quality prepared foods.
Am I on fucking drugs? It goes half ton, 3/4 ton, 1 ton, and then from there the sky's the limit. But they used to make 2 tons and shit. Like, what the fuck is a 1.5? How do you get a F-150 to carry 1.5 tons, bro? I've seen it done, but I mean, leave like within the weight rating. How the fuck do you do that? All right. Anything I do to try to change the music is gonna fucking cause this thing to just stop working. I already know.
In the clip where a motherfucker posted. Puff another blunt to be toasted. If a motherfucker hates, then we rollin'.
All right, I'll just leave it. What the fuck was that?
kid coming in from the hood, trying to make a buck for my cent in the hood. If I could sell a piece to a priest, then I would, cause I'm about my paper, dog, it's all good. When I roll up my dough up, cocky like Rocky Balboa, product to the devil, gon' blow up, stacking higher than the Twin Towers, blow up on the scene like the fucking 2 towers. All I want in life is a fucking money shower, so what I cop a month is a brick coat power. My eyes low faded, smart got rated, what never get got from a pig made it, laughing at these suckers, it's all smooth sailing, put Johnny in my cup in the cut where a motherfucker toasted, puff another blunt to be toasted, if a motherfucker hate then we rollin', rollin', rollin'. So much money, so much riches, all my life I've been thug living, got to first a brick, and then it's all, tell my baby mama I ain't never coming home. So much money, so much riches, all my life I've been straight living, got to first a brick, and then it's all, till I'm in the peace, I ain't never coming home. Boys in the hood, got toys in the hood, house party pumps make noise in the hood. When I think back, dollar sign blink that, fuck a bitch with a fat ass, I'm the master, sitting in the cell, probably like an Asta, living in the hell, but my seed not a bastard, homie keep it gangster, lane up the faster, product to the devil, bass beat a crack in the coke beat a treble, personifying everything, and I don't give a fuck if you don't understand, I'm on another level. You can't tell me nothing, but try and tell me something. Why the fuck you hitting when I'm rolling by something? Probably cause I'm doing big things and you're flooding. Cheers to my haters, cheers to my dogs. Life up a gangster, playing till I fall. Trying to stay on top till I'm all fucking fall. So much money, so much riches, all my life I've been thug living, got to first a brick, and then it's all, tell my baby mama I ain't never coming home. So much money, so much bitches, all my life I've been straight living, got to first a brick, and then it's all, till I'm in the peace, I ain't never coming home. You see stove for a heater, now I pack a heater, money coming quicker than a motherfucking cheetah, fresh to death, sipping the blood, sitting with a couple sexy senoritas, I'm a soldier, till my disease is on the boulder, living and giving a fuck the weight of the world on my shoulder, haven't never had a harder clip, yeah I got this shit, got bitches on my job, I'm the cap on the shit, and this is how it is, it's how we do in the city, witty wolf if I was sheep, I don't feel no pity, gotta feed a fucking kitty, ever since so it's nitty bitty kitty, trying to make a fucking buck, go a time by a blizzy, grind for the grizzly, workers be busy, purple so got my monkey, I'm dizzy, faded so I'm gon' get laid in the city, packing my heater in case I get so much money, so much riches, all my life I've been thug living, got to first a brick, and then it's all, tell my baby mama I ain't never coming home. So much money, so much bitches, all my life I've been straight living, got to first a brick, and then it's all, till I'm in the peace, I ain't never coming home.
Thug living, thug living, thug living.
I don't want to. Oh, actually, I do want to hear this one. What is it? Yeah. I'm gonna fuck with it and try to change the song. Yeah. How many of the videos end with? Oh.
K.I.D. K-Ride Look closely, you can see the truth in my eyes. Back in junior high, already had gang ties. Fuck school, I'm in the back lanes, pockets full of something to hide. The city blade concealed, rest the kiss my thigh. Knocking soul to my mama, I ain't scared to die. Black flag on my face, throwing up gang signs. Can't forget these cops, kill my uncle ass. They wonder mama had these said my cousin never had a chance. I just think over the scars, stick my arms to the bars, so reach for God. I roll my weed with pages, I rip from the Bible. I'm a sinner, all I know is survival. Keep 6 bucks to 5-0. Jack and then check, be quick. Jack ready, give me your shit before I light them up like a candlestick. Killers on my team, I ain't even 18. Day and night, rolling chickens, serving beans.
I'm all about survival. I got all the chances. I killed all the rivals.
Go hard till I'm dead and gone. Go hard till I'm dead.
I'm not telling you that was.
Live life like I don't give a fuck. Sometimes I lock up. Go hard till till I'm dead and gone. Go hard till I'm dead and gone. I've been living life like this since a little kid. Could've made a movie off all the shit I did. Count so much money, turn your fingers black. Step so good, I'm making extra weight back. Puffing on the weed, sipping on the Alizé, sleeping in the limousine. Yeah, it's just another day. Mama, don't pray for me, cause I'ma be okay. I live to die by the plate. Only feel alive when I'm staring death in the face. I'm holding the low at 9, alone in the dark. Just me and my thoughts, contemplating homicide. Trust when the sun goes down, we ride. Respect to my dog, looking on the front line. No choice, either it's life or mine. And I ain't dying today. Rather pull the trigger back and watch the soul fly away. Watch the soul fly away, bye bye. Live life like I don't give a fuck. One time wanna lock me up. Go hard till I'm dead and gone. Go hard till I'm free, man. You know when you lock me in a box, don't get too box. I don't give a fuck. I don't need to hear the TikTok of a goddamn box. Look at you, you're a savior here. I'm fucking working. And you owe more than you're ever gonna make. And I don't give a shit. The uniform you've got on is fake. In the country where they make that shit, everybody's dying because they eat rats. That's sick. They covered in rat shit. Oh, I better skip that. I know they don't own that beat. I swear I fucking just deleted that fucking song. Yeah. Oh, this is. I swear I deleted that fucking song an hour ago. And I deleted it. It comes back magically. Do not collect money. That's the shit that got me dreaming robberies when pops left it with the father. I got a problem, load the weapon. That's how you solve it. That's what it taught to me. That's how I race. Put me in the direction where the bottom be. Guess that's just how I was born to be. Some come to this world with diamonds and pearls. Some come to poverty. But no one that teach us right and wrong. How could you say that we wrong? This is all we know, so gotta be right. Or maybe it's left, but it's all we got left. Not to thug until my last breath. Truly, peace and love to the ones that knew me. You fuck the rest, I mean it. And she knows when I walk out this door, it might be for the last time. They say the stars burn the brightest right before they die. That's why I tell her I love her just in case today's my day to shine. Father, forgive me for I sin, and I'm sorry I probably sin again. Tell me whose blood is this on my hands, cause I can't remember. And when my night go, I allegedly in the room. My thugs, hard drugs, dump slugs, grave dug. Nah, you ain't one of us. If you want it, better be ready to kill for it. If you want it, better be ready to kill for it. All my thugs, hard drugs, dump slugs, grave dug. Nah, you ain't one of us. If you want it, better be ready to die for it. If you want it, better be ready to die for it. That early morning hustler shit. Cocaine in the pot, stir it till it's thick. Throw some ice in the mix and shock it. That's how you rock that shit. Now here comes the magic trick. Abracadabra, bitch. The soul disappears quick as your baby mama's welfare check. This the life, yeah, fuck you pay me. I brought the bitch with me just to show you I ain't playing. All the goons in this motherfucker know what I'm saying. Bet the streets gon' feel me. Know these cops still wanna kill me or confine me. But first you gotta find me, so come find me. You bitch ass, punk ass cops. Y'all can kiss on my cock. This is something that you'll never stop. Let me bump these tracks, even after I'm locked, even after my heart stops. I'm here to teach the next generation to say fuck the cops. Same way I was taught, yeah, same way I was taught. Yeah, fuck the cops, fuck the cops. All my thugs, hard drugs, dump slugs, grave dug. Nah, you ain't one of us. If you want to be ready to kill for it. If you want to be ready to kill for it.
That's the best climate control I've ever experienced. Better than any hotel I've ever slept in. I have fucking pain conditions and blood disorders that get fucked up with temperatures and humidities and shit that you wouldn't even think of. I don't know what the temperature was. Let's say it was 21. I don't know, but it was 21 the whole time. Nice. Very nice. Whatever the fuck it was.
That's 1-855-ALL-G, no P.
680 News Time 156.
Now the 680 News Business Report. Here's Chris McCusker.
Wholesale selling continues on Bay and Wall Street, but if you're looking for a bright spot, markets have bounced off the low for the day. And as an example, the Dow right now is down 472.
How do you know that was the low for the day,
At one point today, it was down by 960, so it's still pretty bad, but not as bad. The S&P is off by 56, and the Nasdaq down by 171. Now, markets in the U.S. also saw a drop of more than 10% at one point today, which signals a correction. They are now out of correction territory, and maybe it's because expectations are growing for an interest rate cut in the U.S. potentially as soon as next month. Doug Porter is chief economist at the Bank of Montreal.
We don't think this is going to be a long-lasting period of weakness, but it probably will be enough of a shock that the central banks will likely have to react to it. Now, whether that happens in the next couple of weeks or in the next couple of months is still an open question. I would hazard to guess that the central banks will wait a little bit longer to see, exactly what kind of slowdown we're dealing with before they pull the trigger on rate cuts.
Now, Starbucks is reopening 85% of its China stores, with the CEO saying they are seeing early signs of recovery in the region as the number of new coronavirus cases starts to slow. The coffee giant in Starbucks down by 1.4%, $79.48 a share. Then on the flip side, Airbnb, it's now suspending bookings and offerings in China because of coronavirus, and the company also says all of this could threaten plans for the IPO. Price for gold is higher by $4, $16.46. Oil is still close to a 13-month low, down by $2.15, $46.57. And the Canadian dollar right now is lower by 18,100, 74.82 cents US. We can also check the yield on the 10-year bond. Wowie, some movement here. So in Canada right now, down by 5.5 basis points to 1.16%. That's very close to an all-time low. And then in the U.S., off by about 5 basis points to 1.28%. I'm Chris McCusker. This is 680 News.
So our mortgage approval is done?
Great news. The bank has approved you at a 2.74% rate.
What? That's way too high. Butler Mortgage is 2.38%.
Well, it cannot be the same as our bank's mortgage.
It's totally the same. 5 years.
Let's see how badly I can fuck this up.
Fish gang, and I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucker nigga for life. Fish gang, and I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucker nigga for life. Fish gang, and I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucker nigga for life. Fish gang, like I told ya, this is for my motherfucking soldiers. My blacks on my 18s on my real yosers. Troopers, we raise them up. Ruthless, we don't give a fuck. Got links on the top up. Fuck with us, then you die. Fuck with us, then you die. Real niggas make real moves. Consequences, cautious. I'm in the gang. Listen up, fake sticker. On the bay, black cloud. Nigga mainstream, crack jeans since 18. Hotel, shots me. And I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. This gang. And I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. This gang. And I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. This gang. And I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life.
Yours are Rotorua to the death of me. Just banging on these dog shit, cause there ain't no money left of me. Bringing misery to my enemies. My 4 block niggas going central straight to the cemetery. Yours for 2 of my niggas passed off. Just banging around the nation, never giving a fuck. 2 of my niggas holding it down, saying truth is a black and blue. Fuck the monkey niggas for life, then we coming for you.
And I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. Fish can and I 666. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. Fish can and I 666. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. Fish can and I 666. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. You niggas alive, holding it down forever for spending the streets. Cashed up at the age of 16, checking months on the daily routine. Don't cross nigga and don't smack like in your crew. It's the nigga free, running the streets of refugee. DGI, you fucking know, just something to the sky. I'll keep it till I die. Only the wicked survive, I drive so you ready to ride. Niggas for life, niggas for life, niggas for life. And I, 666, hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. Fish game, and I, 666. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life.
Uh-oh, I'm supposed to stop that, or did that. Oops. Uh-oh. I was supposed to stop it before I tried to go to the next fucking thing. Yeah, and I didn't.
We're back to being in good shape on the eastbound 401 across the city. Now, if you're traveling well north of the city, we have a closure of Highway 26. It's now shut down between Sunnydale Corners and Horseshoe Valley. That's because of the poor weather conditions in that area. So keep that in mind. I also had a call from a traffic spotter on the 404 north of Green Lane. Said you can barely see the roadway. This year, 407 ETR is adding 30 kilometers of new lanes to keep up with increasing traffic and keep your commutes fast, safe, and reliable. Visit 407etr.com. Now with the forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
Very strong wind gusts today out of the west could exceed 80 kilometers per hour, blowing snow and heads up for snow squalls that could extend to the GTA today. The guaranteed high -3, it'll feel like -12. And for tonight, more flurries, low -6. It'll feel like -16 overnight. For today, the guaranteed high, -3.
Right now in downtown Toronto, it's partly cloudy, -4, a wind chill of -13. 680 News Time, 2:04.
The province ends with an official report into that false safety alert from the Pickering nuclear plant that sent nearby residents into a panic.
That's great. Can you do something with fucking trains, please?
680's Momin Qureshi joins us live from the legislature with all the details from that report. Momin.
What we know, Sarah, is that when that message was sent out on Sunday, January 12th, it was done so because of human error. But the real question here is, why did it take more than an hour and a half before a correction was sent?
Too many people were involved and not enough
14.5 million Ontarians knew it was a human error.
We knew. Error.
That's the province's Solicitor General, Sylvia Jones, who says they've now
Bitch,
put
why
in new
you got
checks and
copies of
balances
arrest records? I've never had a conviction.
And we've already put in place that you
For
have
those
two different
arrests.
IDs when you
That's
are
illegal.
operating on the live system
That's
as compared
Stasi
to operating
shit,
on the test system.
Jones says, look, it didn't need to happen, but the fact that it did happen has us in a better place now.
While I'm not happy that it happened in January, I am pleased that we have processes in place that have improved the integrity of the system.
Reporting live at Queen's Park, I'm Momin Qureshi.
An arrest has been made in connection to last night's spike in overdoses at the city's largest safe injection
Spike
site
in
here on
overdoses. What is
Dundas
overdose?
Square.
A
680's
bunch
Mark Douglas
more
joins us
than
live with
normal.
the very latest. Mark. Scott, Toronto police are describing a drug that was so tainted, causing so many back-to-back overdoses downtown, an ambulance bus had to be called in to handle all the patients.
They have one.
Potentially lethal
pictures of
fentanyl.
I had pictures.
It was being sold near the City of Toronto's safe injection site called The Works beside Yonge Dundas Square. There were 16 medical responses between 4 and 11 p.m. yesterday. 11 patients needed at least one dose of naloxone. 14 people taken to hospital by ambulance from the organized crime
So 3 of them
enforcement
didn't
units.
need the
Superintendent Steve
naloxone?
Watts
Like,
says the victims were
what are we
simply not
talking about here?
responding to naloxone as overdose victims usually do. Watts says this particular batch of fentanyl from yesterday might be the same stuff as, or very similar to, a batch of tainted drugs seized earlier this year by Halton Regional Police, and it is quite a concoction.
Yellow
Testing is
or
a
the
combination
purple.
of fentanyl, caffeine, and a benzodiazepine derivative. A 38-year-old man was arrested yesterday within a couple hours of the outbreak of this
That's what I'm
crisis,
about to
but
say.
Watts
Like
cannot
diet-pills or some
guarantee that there is not more of this drug out on the streets. Reporting live, I'm Mark Douglas.
This is 680 News. There have now been 6 confirmed cases of coronavirus in Ontario, but this latest case is very different. 680's Irene Precklett is
Is this
following this
active
and
or
joins us
total?
live with an
You're not being
explanation.
specific.
Irene. Sarah, this case is the first time there has been person-to-person transmission in Ontario.
Oh.
This sixth confirmed case is a man in his 60s. He's the husband of the province's fifth case. His wife had recently been to Iran, where she became
Was he
infected and then
at
developed
home
symptoms
on
when she came home.
self-isolation?
They are both recovering at home. Health Minister Christine Elliott says Ontario is prepared.
They are working together. We have a system that has
What
been
happens
developed
when the
since
Jehovah's
SARS.
Witnesses knock at the door and they
During
answer
the
it?
course of SARS, we developed protocols and procedures. The system is working.
An
I got a
update
fucking
from
phone
Ontario
call from
health
the Jehovah's
officials
Witnesses.
on
I'm not even joking.
COVID-19 is
I wish I
happening
could
at
have just
3
hit a
this
button and start
afternoon.
recording.
For the
I
past 2
didn't
days,
have
the number of
anything
new
to just.
cases reported in the rest of the world has exceeded the number of new cases in China. The director of the World Health Organization says health officials must be careful going forward. Reporting live, Irene Precklett, 680
Yeah,
News.
don't visit
News
quarantine
time,
zones.
2:07, we might be done with the snow, but driving conditions could still get tricky, especially north of the city. 680 Stuart McGinn on the Weather Watch and joins us live with more. Stuart. Yeah, Scott, it's been a slower day of travel for sure. We've been hearing about tough driving conditions right across the region, including from this driver up in
Look, I'm
California.
joking. The Jehovah's Witness called me on the fucking
And there
phone.
are cars in the ditches
And I didn't hang
all
up on
over
her.
the place. It's really,
And she still said,
bad.
"You don't sound
Worst of the
interested."
conditions
I
for
said, "Well,
drivers are yet to come as well. Our
sound
meteorologist
like
Jill
you care."
Taylor says blowing
She's telling
snow
me
and
about
snow
people all have
squalls
to-
will continue all the way
people
into
might
tomorrow
die.
morning's drive.
These squalls could extend into Toronto and the
I
GTA,
said, everybody
giving a quick
dies.
burst
That
of
wasn't the
2
right
or
answer.
3 centimeters of snow, especially for the late afternoon into the early evening as well.
As for storm cleanup, the city's winter
The best
operations they'll be
camera is
working
the one
overnight
that's there
to clear
that works. It's
sidewalks,
in your
and they'll
hand.
be cleaning up local roads
News.
well into tomorrow. Reporting live, Stuart McGinn, 680 News.
This is 680 News. It's 2:08. In entertainment news, Dan and Shay lead the nominations for the Academy of Country Music Awards.
Oh, no. No.
Dan and Shay have 5 nominations together and an extra one for Dan Smyers.
You're listening to Toronto's 680 News.
Would you believe they just put Trent Reznor, Billy Ray Cyrus, and Justin Bieber in the same fucking sentence?
For style, all black interior with cranberry wine accent stitching. Check. For attitude, 17-inch tech silver aluminum wheels. Check. For safety, Park Sense rear park assist included. Check. And finally, save the freight with $1,895 off. For total discounts of $12,645. Check. Come check it out for yourself at canadasminivanstore.ca.
Let's throw this one like a biscuit and
Blowing
just
snow and near
crack
zero
somebody's
is going to be
head.
along Highway 10 through Caledon and Orangeville
And
this
it'll
hour.
bounce,
And
it'll
expect lane
come back.
restrictions
If
northbound
it
Airport
misses,
Road north of
this one's
Hockway
balanced,
due
so it'll
to
come
Jack
back to you.
tractor trailer. Now the 680's gas price update and pro predicting the price will drop 3 cents at midnight to $1.07.9 cents a liter at most GTA stations.
680 News Time, 2:10.
Making your home or office smart can be tough, but it doesn't have to. With Staples' new smart home and office installation service, our trusted tech service experts easily transform any space into a smart space. From voice activation to security, we can add everything to your home network for centralized remote control. Get the best tech support however and wherever you need it. Visit staples.ca/tech services. Staples. Work, learn, grow.
What do your customers love about streaming content? Well, everything. That's why Adyen makes it simple for users to subscribe to the content they live for everywhere they go. Playlists in the gym? Yep. Gaming on the commute? Check. Watching sports anywhere? Score. All with Adyen, the single payments platform that lets customers pay for subscriptions how, when, and where they want. Visit
Later.
ADYEN.com
With somebody else's money.
to learn more. Adyen. Business, not boundaries. 680 News Time, 2:11.
Time for traffic and weather together.
2:11.
Let's have the traffic center in Carrie Prescott.
This report is brought to you by City TV. We still have two problems affecting the 400, one in each direction, and they're both approaching Highway 9. Southbound on the 400, approaching Highway 9, the left and the right lane are blocked by emergency crews. We have a number of vehicles that have gone into the ditch. So southbound 400, that is jammed up from Canal Road to approaching Highway 9, a number of drivers, I should say. And northbound on the 400, approaching Highway 9, two left lanes remain closed. That's for dump truck rollover cleanup. And the northbound 400, it's backed up from approaching Aurora Road up towards Highway 9. Northbound on the 404, conditions get really dicey, especially north of Davis Drive. Traffic spotters telling me that north of Green Lane, we have snow drifts there, basically across the entire roadway. It's hard to see the lanes. So use extra caution there if you're traveling. I would avoid any non-essential travel on the 404 up in the north end of it. Northbound on the Don Valley Parkway, no problems, but it's busy approaching Eglinton to north of Lawrence. Westbound on the 401, we have a new problem. The northbound McCowan ramp to the westbound 401, it's getting closed because of a collision. We have a vehicle that's gone off the roadway there, and it looks like a couple of other vehicles involved here as well. So again, westbound 401, no access to that route from northbound McCowan. Some good news though, the problem southbound on Leslie on the ramp to the westbound 401, that's cleared, so that ramp has reopened. Heading into Mississauga, westbound 401, it's busy from here, Ontario and the collectors to west of Mavis. Eastbound on the 401, not spotting any problems on that route. Eastbound on the 407, that issue on the ramp to the northbound 400 has cleared away. Get the latest news affecting our community every night on City News at 6 and 11, only on City TV. And now with the forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
Very strong wind gusts for us today. These gusts out of the west could exceed 80 kilometers per hour. Guaranteed high -3. It'll feel like -12. Some flurries around, but
fuck you, -12, 80 kilometers an hour. It might feel like -12. Fuck you. You ever ride a motorcycle in the winter?
-6 will feel like -16, and tomorrow windy with
on any
couple of centimeters
not
possible.
hot sunny
High
day.
-4. For today, the guaranteed high -3.
Partly cloudy in downtown Toronto.
Oh, it might
we
feel
have
like
blowing
-12.
snow. It's
Yeah, that's not a-
-4,
that's
a wind
not-
chill of -13. Same conditions at Pearson
That's
Airport.
not the fucking
News Time,
calculation.
2:13.
It's not.
The Dynamic Funds Market Minute Line of the Business Center, Chris McKesker.
Well, Scott, we continue to see some pretty sharp declines on Wall Street.
Google, where the
all
fuck
indices
are you?
off by at least 2.1% right now. And the Dow is down by 696. At one point, it was off by 960. So it is off the low for the day. The S&P is down 68. The NASDAQ lower by 242. And the TSX off by 324, 16,717. So Bay Street down 1.9%. Gold is higher by $4, 16.47. Oil down $2.04, 46.70 a barrel. That is close to a 13-month low. And the Canadian dollar down 17/100, 74.83 cents US. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
We all need advice from time to time. Why should investing be any different?
What
Speak to a financial advisor today and visit dynamic.ca/advice to learn more.
What happens if I touch that?
People
What?
are
I'm not
really
touching
talking
that.
about
Get out of here. You're
Mazda's
gonna
active
fuck my
all-wheel
phone
drive,
up. Get out of here.
especially
No,
Mazda
go the
owners.
fuck away.
Jackie from Kitchener says,
I always feel safe.
Terms of service. Fuck you. I'm typing words. I'm not even typing. We're gonna try to talk.
it's amazing
No,
when
get out of
conditions
here.
right now. You can receive up to a $1,000 iActive all-wheel drive credit on select new models. Plus, Mazda's unlimited mileage warranty. See your local Mazda dealer or Mazda.ca today.
Fuck you, Google.
I used to be one of those cranky builders running a small business with no time for anyone else. Excuse me for a second. Did you look in the truck? Both QuickBooks, I get paid, stay organized, and run payroll. So now I can focus on training the next generation. Nothing in the truck, eh? Okay, run to a hardware store, ask for a left-handed screwdriver. Don't take no for an answer.
QuickBooks, the easy way to a happier business. For a limited time, save 90% when you buy Intuit QuickBooks. Visit QuickBooks.ca for full offer details. This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Blowing snow -4, feeling like -13 in downtown Toronto. Good afternoon. From the 680 News Broadcast Center, I'm Scott Burnett.
And I'm Sarah Parrott. Here are the top stories this hour.
The province's Solicitor General releasing their official report on the January 12th false alert from the Pickering nuclear plant sent out to phones and TVs across the region, citing human error and systemic issues at the facility. And an arrest has been made in connection with last night's fight spike in overdoses at the city's largest safe injection site behind Dundas Square. It's being blamed on a bad batch of fentanyl. An ambulance and bus brought in to take 14 people to hospital. Now 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Good afternoon, Alex Xero.
You can tell me every other
A
fucking
couple
math
massive
problem.
points are on the line in Sunrise, Florida tonight. Maple Leafs will take on the Panthers, and Toronto is maintaining that 2-point lead over the Panthers for third in the Atlantic Division. Sportsnet 590 The Fan will have the game tonight starting at 7. Happening now at TD Ballpark. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Minnesota Twins lead the Blue Jays 2-1. Hyunjin Ryu making his spring debut and gave up 1 run in 2 innings of work, allowing 3 hits with a pair of strikeouts. Reese McGuire has a solo home run. Well, the wait is almost over for Norm Powell.
So you're all worried. You think these applications are going to spy on you?
Games like
You give permission on purpose and it crashes.
we have that's been close, and you guys pull it out.
How do I turn that back off?
With your team.
Powell has been cleared by the medical staff and returned to practice today. He could play tomorrow when the Raptors take on the Charlotte Hornets. And to the Honda Classic, it is round number 1, and Englishman Tom Lewis at 4 under par has a 1-shot lead over a group of 4 golfers, including Zach Johnson and Shane Lowry. We have 5 Canucks in the field. Mackenzie Hughes sitting 1 under through 4. David Hearn and Roger Sloan are both even on the day. Corey Connors 1 over through 8. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour, or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590. 680 news time, 2:17.
We're 2 men and a truck.
Google, don't fucking do that again.
And all that's left to do is to call a mover.
This is your platform. How did you fuck that up?
Men in a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you want. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust.
You don't know what I'm talking
For a
about.
free in-home estimate, call today.
So let's just
We're
find
2 men in a truck. 2 men and a truck. The movers who
a chart. There we go. Chart. That'll work.
Then there's wind terror. Wind terror doesn't just bring rain.
Very nice.
Freezing rain. Not just sleet.
Miles per hour. God. Fuck.
Most of all, wind terror brings
Very
snow
nice.
days.
Very nice.
Which means you have to take the kids into work. No! Make it stop! Bring on winter in a Subaru. Hurry in for great rates from 0.99% at your
These are horrible
Subaru
questions.
dealer.
How cold is too cold to ride a bike?
Canadian
How
taxpayers will
dangerous?
soon be off the hook for the security costs for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex after the federal government confirms the RCMP has been picking up the tab.
The confirmation comes in a statement from the Federal Public Safety Minister's office. Since November, when Harry and Meghan began a new life in British Columbia with their son Archie, the RCMP has been providing
That's
a
a
security
lot.
detail as needed for the Duke and Duchess. They're obliged to do so since the royals are internationally protected persons. But when Harry and Meghan officially step back from royal duties at the end of March, the Mounties will cease that assistance. The statement does not indicate what new arrangements will be made to keep the royals safe. The security
same
tab for
Mounties
the
will
royals,
get
which
a
could reach up to
different
$30
fucking
million
name on
a
their
year,
different title
has
on
been
their
a point of
paycheck.
political
They don't even
debate.
get
Polls
paychecks.
have shown little support for
Nothing will
Canadian
change.
taxpayers footing the bill since the Duke and Duchess have decided to lead a more independent life. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Environment Canada,
Democratic
Winfield,
presidential
chart. This
candidate
one
Bernie
works.
Sanders is riding high heading into the South Carolina primary, leading to fears among some of the party.
Download,
Lawmakers say nominating a self-proclaimed socialist might cost moderate or centrist Democrats seats in competitive districts. Republicans would need to gain 18 seats to win back the House. Reporters have been asking Speaker Nancy Pelosi if it's time to protect the majority by trying to knock down Sanders' White House bid. She's having none of it.
Whoever the nominee is of our party, we will wholeheartedly support.
Saying she's told Democrats they simply cannot show division.
Unity.
Soccer,
fair
McCarthy, Washington.
Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic in your extended forecast.
680 News Time, 2:20.
First, your disability insurance
New
denies your
and
long-term
old,
disability
hold
claim,
on.
and then your employer threatens to fire you if you don't return to work. Sound familiar? My name is Aaron Waxman, and if your disability insurer denies your disability claim for any reason, or if your employer threatens to fire you because you're too sick to work, call me at
They don't want anybody to know
416-661-4878. And don't worry about upfront legal fees, because there are none. At my law firm, we only get paid when you get paid. And before you call, you should always remember that there are no bad questions. 416-661-4878 or on your cell phone at # LTD.
Sometimes just an idea isn't enough to make your dream renovation become a reality.
How the
Leverage
fuck
the
do you
equity
know
have in your home and turn your house
you're
into the space
using a
you've
browser
always
set
dreamed
to
of?
private or
Whether it's home
incognito mode? How the
renovations,
fuck do you know
college
that?
tuition, or the trip you've always wanted
If that
to
was
surprise
true,
your
how the
family
fuck
with,
do you
now's
know
the
that?
time
That's
to let
not
your
right.
house lend a hand.
I've
Whether
learned
you need
too many
20,
things
30,
today.
or $300,000,
They do not want us to know that wind chill is being calculated differently. They don't want us to know wind chill. 80 kilometers an hour, but they're not. That's not the real wind chill. Minus 12. That can't be real.
This report is brought to you by Monte Carlo Inns. Blowing snow is of top concern this afternoon, so be very careful, especially anywhere north of the city. And on the 400, I just got an update from a traffic spotter on this southbound 400 issue approaching Highway 9. Now all lanes are blocked. This is where a number of drivers went off the roadway into the ditch. So emergency crews are on the scene, and the southbound 400, as a result, it is packed from just south of 5th Line to approaching Highway 9, where again, no traffic is getting through. So southbound on the 400, bail off either at Highway 88 or at 5th Line and take an alternate route so you don't get stuck in that delay. Northbound on the 400, approaching Highway 9, 2 left lanes are closed. That's for dump truck rollover cleanup. Been going on since about 7 o'clock this morning. So northbound 400, it's jammed from approaching Aurora Road up to Highway 9. Westbound on the 401, there is no access to that route from northbound McCowan. That ramp to the westbound 401 is closed because of a collision. Emergency crews are on that scene. Now, delays on the westbound 401, only busy from Kipling to Dixon, and then slows again from here, Ontario, and the collectors to west of Mavis, so not too bad. The eastbound 401 looks to be problem-free. Northbound on the Don Valley Parkway, a bit of a delay as you head through Lawrence, and traffic spotters telling me the conditions on the northbound 404, anywhere north of Davis Drive, very tricky. We have snow drifts across all lanes north of Green Lane, so it's hard to see where the lanes even are, so use extra caution if you're traveling there. Westbound on the Gardner, busy from approaching Rogers Centre to west of Strawn, but a good drive on the westbound QEW. Traffic spotters telling me at Major Mackenzie and Melville, which is east of Jean, the traffic lights are out at that intersection. A traffic light actually got knocked down onto the ground, likely with these gusty winds. Looking for a wonderful winter escape? Right now at Monte Carlo Inns, you can save 20% on a luxury suite. Go to MonteCarloInns.com and enter the promo code WINTER. And now with the forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
Lots of blowing snow for us
It's the
today.
very bottom of the chart. They didn't go past 80 because you're not supposed to go outside.
More flurries around and heads up for snow squalls. Some of these squalls could extend to the GTA, producing whiteout conditions very quickly. It could catch you off guard. Guaranteed high -3. Low near -6. It'll feel like -16 overnight. Could collect another couple of centimeters. And tomorrow, windy with flurries, 2 centimeters possible. The high about -4. For the weekend, mainly cloudy, windy, some sunny breaks. -3 Saturday, but milder on Sunday. The 1st of March up to +2. For today, the guaranteed high -3.
Right now in downtown Toronto, partly cloudy. We've got blowing snow. It's -4 with a wind chill of -13. Same conditions at Pearson Airport.
680 News Time 224.
I just love driving and getting caught in the middle of a blizzard. It's like my quiet time.
Said no
at -5.
Be weather ready with the Corolla. Now with available Safety Connect system to provide 24/7 emergency response. With 8 different Corolla models to choose from, now's the time to Toyota. Lease the 2020 Corolla L for as low as $68 weekly at 2.99% APR for 48 months with $0 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Ontario Toyota dealer for details. Some conditions apply.
That cannot be real.
This is the
That can't be real.
calendar.
Don't miss an exciting event of psychological wonder coming to Casa Loma this April. The state of mind and the illusion of choice takes guests on a cerebral experience into a colorful and exciting celebration of human consciousness. On from April.
You have to do that somewhere where people claim it's haunted.
Check out the 680 News events page for more at 680news.com.
This new segment brought to you by Appliance Canada. In 60 seconds, the business report with Chris McCusker.
680 News Time 225.
Good,
A wise
man.
man once said, to treat your body
Tell
like
me
a temple.
how much money
But
Warren
what did he
Buffett
say
made
about
off
the temple
fried
you
chicken
call
today.
home? Just like your body, only the best will do for your home. And Appliance Canada brings you premium and ultra-premium brands with the quality and craftsmanship you'd expect from the top names. Sub-Zero, Wolf, Thermador, Miele, Gaggenau, Heston, and more. Backed by highly trained associates eager to help. Upgrade with Appliance Canada. Find a showroom in Toronto, Vaughan, or Mississauga at appliancecanada.com.
Let's do some F-150 math. 6, the number of engines you can choose from. 3,270. That's how many pounds of payload F-150 can carry. 13,200. That's how many pounds.
That's 1 5/8 of a ton.
0. That's the purchase finance rate you get for 60 months on select new 2020 F-150 models. It all adds up to F-150.
I think that's the 450. What doesn't add up, bro? There's something wrong with this.
It's time, 2:26.
Now the business report live at the business center. Chris McCusker.
They just eliminate all the other numbers and they're all
Sharp
F-150s
declines
now?
on both sides of the border. Going to start in the U.S., where markets moved into correction territory, and they sort of been flirting with this level all day. So that's technically a 10% drop from the peak. Now, markets did bounce off the lows for the day, but now getting, let's say, a little closer than they were earlier. The Dow right now is down 583. At one point, it was off by 960. The S&P is down 81, and the NASDAQ lower by 209. Dennis Gartman is the now retired editor and publisher of the Gartman Letter and a long-time market watcher.
It's amazingly ugly already, but I'm afraid that we've started the early stages of a demonstrative and difficult bear market. I think this is more than a mere correction. Obviously, the coronavirus circumstance is the major catalyst, but I think that geopolitical circumstances are also weighing upon the market. I think the market is worried about a Bernie Sanders nomination and even the very slight possibility, I don't think it's a great possibility, but the slight possibility
don't impeach Trump,
he could win the presidency. And
go crazy.
Mr. Trump's hold on power has been defined by the strength of the stock market, so the weakness in the stock market will be held against him.
Shares in Best Buy in the red as well, down 3%, 79.62. Strong fourth quarter results over the holiday season could be an issue with coronavirus going forward. Speaking of coronavirus, Facebook canceling its annual F8 developer conference planned for May over coronavirus fears. So right now, shares in Facebook down 2.4%.
Do you guys do that?
Now on Bay Street, we are hearing about a technical problem. So trading is halted, at least for the time being. Bay Street down 324, 16,717. Gold higher by $4, 16.47. Oil down about $2, 46.78. And the Canadian dollar off by 14,100, 74.86 cents US. I'm Chris McCusker. This is 680 News.
REO Speedwagon, the Rise Before the Storm Tour. Friday, June 5th, live at Niagara Falls View Casinos Entertainment Center. All those legendary hits in concert. REO Speedwagon. Tickets on sale now. Visit FallsViewCasinoResort.com for tickets. REO Speedwagon.
Scotiabank focus on small business.
No matter what type of small business you run or plan to run, don't miss the special small business features each weekend now through February on 680 News. Get the keys to success in 2020 with topics covering everything from the importance of making a business plan to branding, technology, and business banking.
For a limited time, open the right size account for business and a business
The one that holds the most money.
Get $100. Certain
Biggest
conditions apply. Talk to a Scotiabank advisor today.
It's time for the 680 News Business Travelers
fuck are they
Forecast
gonna
brought
tell
to you by
me?
the Canadian Women's Foundation. On Thursday, March 5th, have lunch at LOL
They're
with
working for a
Emmy-nominated
living. What the
comedian
fuck are they
Samantha
gonna
Bee
tell
live
me?
in Toronto. Funds raised. Support the Canadian Women's Foundation. Get your tickets at CanadianWomen.org.
Vancouver tomorrow overcast 6 degrees. In Winnipeg, mostly cloudy -10. Montreal, mostly cloudy -4. For Sarah Parrott, I'm Scott Burnett. Have a great afternoon. It's 2:30.
Number one for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Yes, I was just really saying
Jenna
bye.
Zimick and James Monroe. Good afternoon. This is Thursday, the 27th of February.
He does it when he's talking to his friends, tells them what time it is when he's saying.
Ontario has now had its 6th coronavirus case, but this one is very different. It's the first time there has been human-to-human transfer of COVID-19 in the province.
It was human error that caused a false alert about the Pickering nuclear plant to be sent out last month. The province is being pushed on why it took more than 90 minutes
for a correction to be sent out.
An overdose outbreak in downtown Toronto blamed on tainted fentanyl.
Truly is a form of Russian roulette.
The staff at one of the city's safe injection sites may have saved
Yeah,
a
that's what these
dozen
people are
lives.
into, bro.
Leafs need to get this one tonight. They'll take on Sergei Bobrovsky and the Florida Panthers. Blue
Russian
Jays still
roulette,
trailing
no
in
shit.
Dunedin, and Norman Powell is on the mend. Sports at 45. Coronavirus fears continue to push markets even lower. Dow sinking 642 points, while trading on the TSX has been halted due to a technical issue. Business at 50 cents.
680 News Time, 2:31.
Traffic and
So
weather
you
together
can't
on
do
the
it the old
one
way
Here's
no
Terry
more, can you?
Francis.
You don't even know
This
how to do
report
it
is brought
anymore,
to
do
you by
you?
Lexus of Oakville. Blowing snow is a big issue
Paper.
affecting the drive this
Pens?
afternoon. Be very careful, especially on any roads north of the city. That said, we had a number of drivers that went into the ditch southbound on the 400 approaching Highway 9. Last I spoke with traffic spotters, emergency crews had temporarily blocked all lanes to try to get everything organized there, but it looks like they're allowing traffic through again. However, the southbound 400 is jammed up from south of 5th Line to approaching Highway 9. And northbound on the 400 approaching Highway 9 still have the 2 left lanes closed there. That's for dump truck rollover cleanup. And the northbound 400 is barely moving from approaching Aurora Road
I
up
swear
to
to God,
Highway
if
9.
you roll by there
Westbound
right
on
now,
the
there will be a
401,
band
keep
and
in
it
mind
will
the
say
northbound
dump truck
McAllen ramp to the
roll
westbound
over
401
cleanup.
that remains
And the
closed.
backs
It's
of the
because of a
guys'
collision.
jumpsuits will be just like this, and they'll say
Westbound on the
dump truck
401, not too bad
roll
in
over
terms of
cleanup
delays.
crew.
Looks pretty good across the city. Starts to get busy around Islington and the Express over to Dixon, and then a typical delay into Mississauga, approaching here Ontario on the collectors to west of Mavis. Northbound on the
this
Don Valley
province is
Parkway, that's
fucking
filling
like
in,
that.
approaching Eglinton to north of Lawrence. And it wasn't too long ago, traffic spotters were telling me on the northbound 404, north of Green Lane, you can barely see where the lanes are because of all of the snow drifts. If you're heading out of the city westbound on the Gardner, that's busy from Jarvis to west of Strawn. But the QEW, it's lightly traveled in both directions. Lease a 2020 IS300 all-wheel drive signature package at 0.9% for 36 months with a delivery credit of $3,000. See lexusofoakville.ca. And now with a look at that forecast, Denise Andriachi, let's talk about that blowing snow.
Oh my gosh, I mean, it's one of those where do I begin scenarios here after the system snow made things look like a winter wonderland. We're just ushering in, that
12.
cold, very gusty, strong wind out of the west-northwest, Carrie. So the blowing snow will continue. I mean, we've kind of got a lot of different things happening on the radar because I'm starting to see some of these squalls
This is
from
snow
the
that already
snowbelt make their
fell,
way
eh?
into the GTA as well. So we're going to continue with
The
on
snow
and on
that's
sort of
falling,
blowing
yes.
snow advisories,
But there's
snow
also
squall
a ton of
watches,
snow.
snow squall warnings potentially as well, especially through the north end of Halton Peel, the north end of northern York region as well. The city of Hamilton under a blowing snow advisory. So it is just, it's awful out there. It feels like the dead of winter,
Just
that's for
everywhere.
sure. We've got winds gusting at Pearson right now up to 80 kilometers an hour, a wind chill of -14. Still this chance of flurries and blowing, drifting snow and snow squall activity tonight.
You
as
can
we
hear the
fall
damn
below your
station. This applies
-7.
to you.
The guaranteed high for today, -3.
This is 680 News.
The province is expected to hold an update shortly on the spread of coronavirus here in Ontario following the first case of human-to-human transmission of COVID-19.
we gotta wait for this.
The patient is a woman who traveled to Iran, one of the worst affected countries outside of China. 680's Irene Parklet joins us live with the latest. Irene.
And James, this latest case is a man who was in his 60s. He got the virus from his wife who'd been to Iran and started feeling sick when she got home. They are the 5th and 6th confirmed cases in the province and the first person-to-person transfer of COVID-19 in Ontario. Health officials here say the system, though, is working. Many lessons were learned during the SARS outbreak. Meanwhile, the number of new cases outside of China is growing. The director of the World Health Organization has a message for countries with emerging cases.
This is your window of opportunity. If you act
Close
aggressively
everything.
now, you can contain this virus.
You can't, because
can
every time
prevent
somebody
people getting sick.
gets it again, it restarts the 14-day thing.
And again, in about 25 minutes' time, we will hear from Ontario's top doctor as well as Toronto's. Reporting live, Irene Parklet, 680 News.
And the world continues to scramble to get on top of the coronavirus outbreak. Governments and doctors presenting an array of approaches as the virus disrupts daily routines, business plans, and international travel. Schools are closing down in Japan. Pilgrims are being kept out of Islam's holiest shrines. In Saudi Arabia and European countries are starting up health screenings at the borders. Italy has reported a
another
nearby,
127
in the same
cases
group
and
of
3
people.
deaths, raising that country's total to more than 600 cases and 17 deaths. Although health officials say there are now reviews on how they announce new cases is only a
They
small
really didn't want it to
minority of
spread.
the
They
more
would
than
have said
600
everybody
patients are
home for like
currently
a 30
sick.
days, 60 days
This is the City
vacation,
News. Human errors
90
what caused
days,
a wave
whatever.
of panic last month when an
Don't
alert
go to
was
work
sent
for a
out about
while.
a false
Don't go to
nuclear
school.
emergency in
Stay
Pickering.
home.
6 Cities Moment Correcchi's here with the details of a report out from the province's Chief of Emergency Management.
It was 7:23 in the morning that day when most of us were jolted out of bed as our phones buzzed with an emergency message about the Pickering nuclear plant, setting off panic across the province. Solicitor
They
General
never
Sylvia
sent a
Jones
single
says that
text
message was
message. They
sent
just
because of human error.
The operator understood
Well,
that
this
it was
one they
sent in
sent
error.
The real question is, why did it take 108 minutes for another message to be sent saying it was a mistake and everything is fine? Jones
should
says
have come
too many
out on
people
some
were
other
involved
form of
and not
media.
enough knew what to do next.
We have now implemented recommendations and already put them in place to ensure that everyone who is operating those systems knows what they need to do and when they need to do it.
You could have called the local radio station. It's a toll-free call from that cell phone.
Happening now on Bay Street, TSX has suspended trading this hour. 6 Cities' Carl Garnish joins us live from the business center with the reason why. Carl.
Jen, we're following this developing story here. TMX saying in a tweet it's continuing to investigate the problem with order entry. And of course, this comes as traders are hitting the sell button due to coronavirus fears. The TSX, before we saw the halt kind of take effect here, down by about 1.9% of 324 points.
Somebody upstairs said put the brakes on it.
Apparently, we're getting from TMX that prior to reopening, they're going to provide some sufficient time in the pre-open state for participants to manage their orders. So we'll see kind of a little bit of extra time here to get this all figured out. But as it stands, right now, Wall Street continuing to sink on the coronavirus fears, but the TSX has been halted as they try to address this problem. At the Business Center, I'm Carl Garnish.
This is 680 News. The samples being tested to figure out exactly what tainted substance sent more than a dozen people into a state of overdose at Toronto's safe injection site
Did you say it
downtown.
was fentanyl,
680 Mark
caffeine,
Douglas
and
joins us live with that story, Mark.
yeah? The fucking knockoff benzos. You used to get them from the pharmacy. You're not allowed to anymore.
So tainted,
They're fucking
causing
making them
so
on the
many
street.
back-to-back overdoses downtown. An ambulance bus had to be called in to handle all the patients.
This dangerous and potentially lethal batch of fentanyl.
It was being sold near the City of Toronto's safe injection site called The Works beside Yonge Dundas Square. There were 16 medical responses between 4 and 11 p.m. yesterday. 11 patients needed at least one dose of naloxone. 14 people taken to hospital by ambulance from the Organized Crime Enforcement Unit. Superintendent Steve Watts says the victims were simply not responding to naloxone as overdose victims usually do. Watts says this particular batch of fentanyl from yesterday might be the same stuff as or very
organized
similar
crime
to
enforcement.
a batch of tainted drugs seized earlier this year by Halton Regional Police, and it is quite a concoction.
Testing
Those
is a
guys aren't even
combination of
supposed to be looking
fentanyl,
at you. You're fucking nothing to
caffeine,
them.
and a benzodiazepine derivative.
A 38-year-old man was arrested yesterday within a couple hours of the outbreak of this crisis, but Watts cannot guarantee that there is not more of this drug out on the streets. Reporting live, I'm Mark Douglas.
Paul Cook and Catherine Chute.
Weekday mornings starting at 5:30.
This is 680 News.
I wonder if they actually put the organized crime unit on there, or they were just like walking by.
Lose weight and
Yeah,
feel
he
great
was
for
just
over
doing it right
40
there.
years. And we can help you
Fucking
lose up to
serious?
20 pounds per month without exercise or diet pills. Whether you want to lose 10 pounds, 50 pounds, or more, our team of nurses and doctors will ensure that your weight
I didn't
loss
learn
is
anything
healthy
about
and
that though. I
long-lasting.
learned nothing
So stop
about
struggling
that.
and start succeeding. Call us today at 1-888-DRB-DIE or visit drbdiet.com to learn more. On city streets, traffic lights out at Major Mackenzie and Melville, east of Jane. Eastbound Major Mac is jammed from east of the 400 now, and near zero visibility reported on here Ontario through Caledon and Orangeville because of blowing snow.
City Streets was brought to you by
13
Don Valley North
fucking
Toyota, the
seconds.
dealership that powers 680 News reporters. Check out their 50-vehicle showroom. Not a bad place to get lost. Don Valley North Toyota, Steeles, just east of the 404.
Now the 680 News gas price update and propane diesel
The
price will drop
the
3 cents at
commercials
midnight
almost
to
as
just
long
under
as the
$1.08 a liter.
680 News Time 240.
That is such a fuck you. Here's a 15-second update with a 12-second fucking commercial. I knew it. I knew it. I couldn't. I could time it next time, but I have to be paying attention ahead of time. Google still didn't tell me the answers. I think Google knows you have to go deeper on this one, so they're not even going to try to answer it. I swear that looks wrong. Let's look at these little bucket it up. Man, fuck. Big one. There it goes. Okay. Uh-oh. What did it fucking cause to happen now? I don't know what's recording and not recording. They told me little cameras everywhere. Great. I don't fucking act fucking right now. What the fuck is going on with this? What the fuck happened? It's me 2 minutes ago. There we go. This is not functional. This is not functional. 4 fucking minutes go by. What the fuck? We're not fucking online. We're not. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. Why isn't it saying anything about my connection? Nothing. It's not giving me no fucking nothing. I don't believe you. We're not online. If this works. I'm gonna say if we can't connect. Oh, crazy. Is that real? We're really online still? Fuck, I thought everything fucking broke. Oh man, I must be pissed. I stopped hitting the split. I want to hear music, man. Come on. What the fuck just happened here? The fucking thing's not even on no more. Alright, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That timer is not working right. The fuck just happened? Nothing happened. This fucking defeats the fucking purpose. This totally fucking defeats the purpose.